Okay, hey guys, how are y'all today? I hope everyone's doing super good. So today I don't have a workout video, exercise video, anything like that for you. I recently graduated college. I graduated last week. So I thought it would be really cool to just sit here and have a conversation with you guys. I know a lot of y'all are about to go to high school, which can seem super scary. So just talking to you about high school. And then after that, what if you want to go to college, what that can look like and what your options are with college. And then also like what I'm going to do now after college, because that is a little scary as well. So high school, I am not from Wilmington. I am from right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. Lake Norman area, if any of you guys have heard of it. It's like 10 to 15 minutes outside of Charlotte, so it's like a 3.5-hour drive from Wilmington. So I went to like a pretty big high school. My graduating class was like 650 students. So it was really, really big. And we had a lot of super cool classes offered to us there. So you guys probably have some really cool options at the high schools that you're going to. I know some of them are going to be requirements for your classes, like English, math, science, history, all of that. But if you guys have some cool electives that you get to take, I suggest that you just try out a lot of different options, because surprisingly, those can transfer into like what you're interested in college. I know we had some like music electives. I got to take a piano class, found out I'm not very good at the piano. I did not pursue that after that class. I actually walked off the stage during the recital. I got to take some arts and crafts classes, and just some really cool things. They offer dance classes at a lot of high schools. So if you're interested in things like that, I encourage you to get involved. Also, we had some really cool clubs at the high school I went to. So I did this thing called DECA, which is a super big organization that a lot of schools have. Some of your schools might have that, or something called FBLA. And it was like a business club where you would get to, dress up and you go to these conventions and you could win awards for, it was like marketing. You would get a prompt and you would have to go and present it in front of judges. And they would rate and score you on your presentation. You would get dressed up in business attire. You acted like a business professional, and it was just really fun and cool. I did it with a lot of my friends. It was a great experience. Also, like I was in dance after school, so that was really cool. A lot of y'all probably love sports, so I encourage you to try out for your sports teams, even if it seems intimidating and scary. Even the experience in itself would be awesome and great. It can push you in many ways, but there's just so many options in high school. So I encourage y'all to take hold of that and run with it, because it really does set you up and prepare you for college in ways that you probably don't even realize, fostering that independence and just like learning what you're interested in. And then at the end of high school, about your junior year, you're probably already starting to think about it now if you're going into your freshman year, but you start thinking about if you want to go to college or not, and that can seem very scary. Not everyone has to go to college, even though college is a great tool, an asset to have, like having a degree and gaining that knowledge post-secondary school is really great. There's also some super cool trade schools you can go to if you're interested in like being a mechanic, if you're interested in doing hair, going to cosmetology school, things of that nature. Those are also really great options. If you don't feel like you want to go to college, I encourage you to talk to your school counselors and like learn more about those trade schools, because those are great tools to have as well. But if you're interested in college, there's so many universities and schools in in America, but in North Carolina as well. So if you want to look at in-state schools, I know I looked at Appalachian State University, which is in Boone. I was looking at UNC Charlotte, which is pretty close to my house. And then obviously UNC Wilmington is where I ended up. But there are great state schools. There's also really awesome community colleges. There's an awesome one here in Wilmington. It's Cape Fear College. They offer a lot of classes. And also with community college, you have the ability to go and get some gen eds, which are some general classes that you have to take in college, out of the way if you're trying to figure out what do you want to do with your major when you go to college. And so a major is going to be what you concentrate on, and what you're studying to be. So if you want to be a doctor, you might be studying biology and things like that. But community colleges are a great place that you can get a 4-year, like your degree in, or you can get some of those gen eds out of the way and transfer to a state school like UNCW. So I know a lot of people will go to Cape Fear and then transfer over. But for me, I spent all 4 years at UNCW through the hurricanes, through the pandemic. I was there the whole time. I had an awesome experience. I really loved it. And so freshman year, lived in the dorms. It was great. It's a little scary, obviously, when you first leave home and you're going away, and my parents were 3.5 hours away. But I just made such a great community at UNCW. One of the biggest things that I did at UNCW was get involved in some clubs. The biggest one that stuck with me throughout all of college was dance company, because I danced throughout middle school and high school, into college now, obviously. But dance company was great because it just allowed me to form those friendships with people who are super similar to me and like things like I do. So if you go to college, I encourage you to seek out those clubs. There's so many organizations. There's I'm pretty sure hundreds at UNCW. So anything from surfing club to chess club to dance company to any religious affiliated clubs that you might be interested in, or any sport. They even have club baseball and club soccer if you're not on the actual sports team. So it's super awesome to get involved, and I found that was one of the most rewarding things at UNCW, was getting really involved in this organization and following it through. We held a recital at the end of every single year, but the best part was when we would go on retreats, or we would have formal, and we would, it just really bonded us, and it just made us this big family. But aside from all of that, the academic part of it can seem stressful and daunting, especially when you're thinking about, what do I want to be, when I grow up? And that's where there is some, what's awesome about gen eds is you're able to explore a lot of these classes if you don't go in knowing what you want to be. I did not go into college knowing what I wanted to do with my life, and that's okay. Some people go in and they're like, oh, I want to be a nurse, so they go straight to the nursing route, or oh, I want to be a business major, so they go straight to the business. Me, I needed to figure some things out. So you have to take gen eds anyway, but you can take a lot of intro classes, like intro to psychology, intro to biology, all these things to find out what you're interested in, and almost more importantly, what you're not interested in, so you don't have to pursue that throughout all of college. So I ended up being a social work major, which might be a newer to some of y'all. Some of y'all might know what a social worker is. Some of you might have had some positive experiences with social workers. Some might have had some negative experiences, or some might have had no experiences at all. But a social worker is someone who just works, they a lot of times will work with nonprofits, and they will work to help advocate for people. They help people when they need help. So they're just there to really just help people. But it's really cool. I learned that there's so much you can do with a social work degree, and it's not as much narrow as I thought it was. So it's just, you can work with so many different kinds of people. You can work with kids if you want, or you can work with adults if you want. You can work with families. It's just really awesome. My roommates were all something called a communication major, which is kind of like a business major, but they studied how to interact with people and how to talk with people, and they're all going such different routes with it. One of my roommates wants to be a graphic designer, which is the person who will develop a lot of logos and things online, or visuals for companies online. She's super artistic. Another one wants to be a fashion marketer, because she loves fashion and she wants to help with brand design and things like that in the fashion industry. And then another one is going the business route with it. But it's just really cool because a lot of these majors are super versatile, so you can do a lot of things with them. But I also have friends who are nursing majors and things like that, where it's more specific and they just really know that they love and they love to do that. So that's super cool. As far as, like applying for college and things like that, that also can seem a little bit scary. You guys will approach that definitely more head on with like your teachers and your school counselor as you approach that stage. So I won't go too much into it, but just know like it's very doable and to not be intimidated by it. When you get to that point, just take a breath. And just, ask as many questions as you need to. Your staff at your school is there for that, and you'll get more into that in your like junior year. But I encourage you to start looking at places now. There's so many great schools in North Carolina, even here, so you can start kind of seeing, this is this school I really like. What are some of the things that I can do to stand out, and like why do I love this school? Or thinking about what are you interested in now, and what maybe kind of jobs and careers like are look like what you're interested in. But as for now, after college, it's even weird to say that I've graduated because it just feels so surreal and crazy. But I am staying in Wilmington for a year, and then we're going to see what's happening. What I really want to do is international social work. So I will be working in other countries or with people from other countries and helping in that way because I love learning about other cultures and getting to talk to people from other places because I find it super rewarding and that they teach me a lot and that when we work together, really great things happen. Okay, and so that's kind of all I'm going to talk about here about the high school, college, and now. But I wanted to close out just talking a little bit about my experience with WRAAP because I've worked here for 2 years now. Each year looking completely different, obviously, this year being completely virtual. But I know last year, some of you watching, we got to work together and hang out together a lot. So I want to talk about that year as well. So with WRAAP, sure some of you know, it's like an after school program. So what it would look like is we would go get the kids and then bring them back, have a snack and hang out for a little bit and like just play some games and just chat. And once snack was done, we would get down to homework, which was really great. With the homework help, I know when I was in school, I really enjoyed homework help because sometimes it can seem a little bit daunting and intimidating. And then after that, sometimes we would have volunteers come in or speakers come in. So it would be like UNCW students would come in and they would do these really cool things. They would play games or do a craft that they had like developed. And so it was really cool and very well-rounded. We would go and play games outside. We would play games in here. Unfortunately, some of the things were cut short because of the pandemic, but we did go on field trips just to places locally around Wilmington. One of the favorite field trips was Church's Chicken because got some free chicken, free food. We all love free food. So, yeah, it was really awesome because we all got to hang out and get to know the kids so much better. I got to know some of y'all so much better. And so it was really sad last year when that got a little short because we were going to go to Myrtle Beach. So hopefully next year it'll be able to be in person, or when it gets to be in person again, you guys will get to do some really cool stuff because we got to do that last year. And then transitioning to this year, obviously everything's virtual. Never spoken in front of a camera before. I don't teach workout classes, so just transitioning to this part and just being able to see how well-rounded the program has still been able to be because so many people were willing to step up and come and step out of their comfort zones and speak in front of a camera to people they don't even see has been really cool. So I thank you all for participating. I know those of you who are aging out, going to high school and everything, you guys are going to do great things. I encourage you just to reach out to people as much as you can and learn as much as you can. And I hope everybody gets to be in person next year. Thank y'all. Bye.
Please be sure to like, subscribe and share this video. It helps us reach more people who could use our help.